What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In today's video, we're going through the playthrough of COLISEUM Brooke, and this video did take definitely a little bit longer than the typical COLISEUM video to put up. That was just because I was extremely busy, and also this COLISEUM was causing me quite a lot of issues. I was trying to find various different teams that were able to beat this, but I mean, out of all of the COLISEUMs that have released relatively recently, this has given me the most trouble. This is an extremely difficult Colosseum for no apparent reason, because the character himself really isn't that good either. So let's go ahead and go over the character as well, before we get into the actual playthrough of the dungeon. So here is COLISEUM Brooke. Brooke is a Psi/Slasher free spirit character, and at max level 99 with his limit break. You can see his stats there are pretty mediocre. His captain ability will be a 2.5 times attack boost to Slasher and free spirit, as well as giving those classes a 1.25 times health boost, so a captain ability you're never going to use. As for his special ability, maxes down at 14 turns after his max limit break. He'll go ahead and deal 90 times his own attack in typeless damage to all enemies that ignores all defensive effects. That's pretty nice, allowing you to get a little bit of damage output that goes through barriers, thresholds, percent damage reduction, all of those type of effects. So that will see some play, but as for his other effect, it's really so goddamn niche that you're really never going to use it. So if you have 5 or more slashers in your team, he nullifies all damage from int enemies for 1 turn and reduces all enemies HP by 15% at the end of the turn for the next 2 turns. So the fact that he does reduce all damage from int types is okay, but so niche, you're really never going to see an effect like that ever be used in play. Honestly, because you need to have the full team of slashers, I feel like he should have just reduced all damage from any color completely, and this character would actually be freaking awesome. But only specifically int types is a bit of a drawback. The health reduction at the end of each turn for 2 turns, that's okay as well. It would have been better if it was something else. I don't know, just anything else. But you know, that can actually be used to bypass enemies' resilience buffs. So I guess you could see some way in using it on a slasher team to get rid of your resilience buffs on the enemy. But then again, there is a character, Karina, who also gets rid of resilience. And she also does like a buttload of other different things. So like there's just so many other characters that just can do better things, and it is just a much better option compared to Brooke here from the Colosseum. Quickly though, before we get to the actual playthrough, his crewmate ability will boost Psi characters HP by 40, which is pretty terrible, and then 50 attack to Slasher and Free Spirit, again, not really that great. His potential abilities is int damage reduction by 5%, and pinch healing, which will give you 1 times his recovery after you hit a perfect when your health is below 50%. Nothing too crazy there. He does have a support ability to slashers, giving them 5% HP and attack. So just overall, he's just extremely disappointing, especially because we had the massive release of V2 Mihawk and V2 Zoro. You would think that, you know, with the bolstering of the slasher class, that they would have given the slashers an amazing Colosseum. And they really missed the mark here, in my personal opinion. And not only, I said this earlier, and not only is this character just really not that great, his Colosseum is absurdly difficult, which we'll go ahead and get into right now. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it. So round number 1 is going to be against Frankie. On stage 4, we're going to be having our actual battle against Usopp and Chopper. But you can see here, I actually went ahead and used the Dex Rare Recruit Smoker to swap my captain, because the preemptive attack of the Usopp and Chopper fight is that they will swap a captain out with one of your subs for 5 turns, and also they'll give you a 30% health cut, they'll change all your orbs into empty, and they'll give you 2 turns of special rewind. This is where Carrot is really good, because when Carrot's a sub, she actually resists special rewind. So that was my whole ideology utilizing this team, and also the fact that on the final boss stage there is a percent damage reduction, which Carrot can also bypass. Also, if you get, I think it's Chopper below 50%, he's going to blow away a character for 2 turns, so, you know, obviously take that into consideration as well. But moving on to the final boss, which is Frankie, he has 2.641 million HP. He'll actually have 99 turns of immunity, 99 turns percent damage reduction. He will go ahead and reduce your chain by 5 turns, which means a chain locker is going to be really good here, and he gives you a burn for 5 turns. Now, he doesn't revive, so you don't actually need to worry about the burn if you can kill him in 1 turn. And he does a little bit of preemptive damage as well, and after the first turn he's going to slot bind your entire team for 10 turns, and do not get him below 20% because you're going to tank a crap load of damage. Round number 2 is going to be against Zoro. On stage 4, we have Sanji with Shirahoshi. Now, Shirahoshi doesn't really do anything. She actually runs away, so you only have to take on Sanji. He has 1.5 million HP. He has an immunity and an end-of-turn recovery, which he'll fully heal every single turn, and he has a 100 times defense buff and a 1.25 times attack boost. So you have to try and get enough damage output to pierce through that blue defense, or you could go ahead and bring someone like Int Rare Recruit Peckham's to remove his defense, which would make this fight a lot easier. If he doesn't actually get killed, he'll go ahead and slot bind your entire team for 3 turns, and he'll do that every 2 turns. So after you go ahead and take down Sanji, you'll take on Zoro and Robin on the final boss stage, and their health values are pretty significant. 3 million for Zoro, 1.1 million for Robin. For their preemptive 10 turns of delay immunity, they'll give you 5 turns of attack down, 3 turns of damage threshold, 3 turns of special bind, 10 turn shift to spare, and your target locked to Zoro. So a very significant preemptive attack there. After turn 1, if Robin is alive, she'll give you a full board of bomb orbs, and on turn 2, she'll give you a 98 turn increased damage taken, whereas Zoro on turn 3 will then go ahead and reapply the damage threshold, and then on turn 4, he's going to blow away your entire right column. So you want to try and clear this by at least turn 4 to make it, a lot easier on yourself. But overall, I'll see you guys on the last final boss fight against Brook. So now moving on to the final boss fight against Brook. On stage 3, we have a mini boss Nami, who has 2.47 million HP and a preemptive attack of 5 turns end of turn damage, 5 turn paralysis, and there's a 5 turn barrier on each of the mob characters, ranging from good, great, and perfect. So definitely having a character to remove that paralysis is going to be very useful. And basically every 2 turns, she's going to go ahead and blow away a character for 2 turns. She just continuously does this over and over again, and you will take a lot of damage on this stage because of that end of turn damage that is applied by the actual boss Nami. Now, this is actually one of the easiest stages to actually get around, and I'm using a Snake Man team here. This is one of the more recommended teams that I've seen a lot of people test out. Is Snake Man just destroys this? Like, he doesn't really destroy it, I would say, but Snake Man is the more ideal captain for this particular Coliseum because of what happens against Brook. But after we take down this stage here on stage 3, we're going to move on to stage 4, which is going to be a boss Time Skip Luffy with 3.35 million HP with a preemptive attack of removing your beneficial effects, and then for 3 turns all your type slots will be counted as badly matching, so you can't bring Beneficial Orb Enabler into this fight, which is really annoying. He also has a delay immunity. He has 3 turns of Rainbow Shield % damage reduction, and 7 turn Despair is inflicted to your team as well. Now, if he's alive on the turn 3, he's going to cut your health by 30% and rewind your specials by 3 turns, and he'll continuously do this every single 3 turns, so you got to make sure that you can get him down, and also don't get him below 50% because he's going to inflict a lot of damage, and you get inflicted with burn as well, so don't get him below 50%. But now we get to move on to the final boss stage, which is Brook. Brook has 6 million health. His preemptive attack will go ahead and apply full immunity for 99 turns. He has a 15 hit barrier for 99 turns, and then sign-in characters will get special binded for 50 turns. So you essentially cannot use silent character specials unless they have a crewmate ability that resists special bind completely. There are a couple of characters that I will be using in this video that will utilize that sailor ability, but every single turn he's going to bind a character on your team for 4 turns. So with sockets, you're still getting a character binded for 1 turn every single turn. Below 50%, he does some damage to you and then binds 2 units for 4 turns, and then when he is actually when he's dead, he's going to revive. He's going to revive with full HP, quite fitting for Brook, and he also enrages as well, so he does more damage after the revive. And there is a special interrupt with Brook as well, is anytime you activate an attack boost or an orb changing special, he's going to remove your beneficial effects and then give you a full board of block orbs. And because every time he does the orb manipulation, he's going to apply the special interrupt, you can't change those block orbs. So this is the reason why I think that Brook is one of the most annoying Coliseums ever, is because with his batch that got released with it, obviously we saw V2 Mihawk and V2 Zoro. The fact that on the final boss fight, sign-int characters get special binded means that Zoro just gets completely destroyed. as a sailor, V2 Zoro does resist special bind by 10 turns, but you get special binding for 50 turns. So even as a sub, Zoro gets completely destroyed. You can use his special ability on stage 4 and carry it into the first turn against Brook, which is the ideal situation. But still, it's better to have double Mihawk with a sub Zoro. And it's really annoying that this Coliseum is structured in such a way that you need to have both of the new legends in order to, beat it as fast as possible. So, I just think that this Coliseum is just extremely frustrating, and there were lots of different teams I did attempt. I attempted a carrot team, which did fall short just slightly. I tried various other teams, but this is a very, very challenging Coliseum. If you have Snake Man, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier for this particular Coliseum. The second team you guys are seeing here, though, is a Whitebeard and Marco team with a Sanji captain. It's pretty interesting, actually. I saw this one on Twitter by a user called Secret Person, something like that. He's a Japanese player, and this team was like 500 IQ, right? So the way that this team specifically works is that you are doing as much damage as you can against Brook on turn 1. Obviously, you're using the jump effect on stage 4, carrying the jump into stage 5, and then when you are actually going ahead and doing your burst on the revive of Brook, you can use the special ability of Caribou, who does 15 combo hits to the enemy, which will break his barrier, hence allowing you to then go ahead and use the ability of V2 Doflamingo. So this is a really great way to get around the fact that you actually cannot bring Psy Law into this fight, because he'll get special binded for 50 turns, of course. So really, really nice way to get around it with using the Caribou special ability. There are a handful of other characters, like not many, but there are a handful of other characters that can also deal about 15 combo hits. Caribou was just really cool to use either way. And then the last team you guys are going to be seeing is a very, very slow team, which is the V2 Katakuri team, because you do need to tank a lot of damage on stages 1 to 3 in order for the special ability of the Katakuri to then use on the boss fight of stage 4, using your special ability there. Because remember, you cannot use Katakuri special on the final boss fight. But with this specific team, it's really nice that you have a character such as Ayn. And if you have Ayn, the rare recruit one, especially max limit broken with her double special activation fully maxed out, it's so useful having a special ability like that, where she gives you damage reduction, she heals if you use it twice in the same turn, she gives you the ability to reduce bind and despair, and she's just a really useful rare recruit overall, and really good classes actually too. I have found that, sometimes when I was testing some of the teams, I did find that Ayn having barrier penetration, especially rainbowed out, was extremely frustrating. Like, there were certain teams that I was trying out to make sure that, make sure when I get to the final boss fight, I'm not above half health. Otherwise, Ayn will do barrier penetration, which means that the barrier of Brook will not be reduced with the combo hit. So extremely frustrating, but you give and you take with a character with barrier penetration. It can be quite frustrating at times. But there we go. That's the full rundown of the Brook Coliseum. I hate this Coliseum so much. The character's bad, but remember, this character will be boosted in the treasure map. It's going to be either a 1.2 or a 1.35 times point booster, and having the ability to have a character like that, I guess it's going to be useful here or there. But anyways, if you can't beat it, I would suggest clearing the underground difficulty, just to ensure you have a copy of the character at least, so you have an extra point booster in the treasure map. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.